on to Missouri rain. Clayton still burns, still running the game. OG Roots, yeah, seen it all. From backwood grows to the legal call. With Nessa by his side, yeah, they ride or die. Turning dirt to gold with that third eye. Hands in the soil, biochar strong. Fish get feeding what's been growing all along. It ain't just weed, it's a way of life. Family love, no greed, no strife. Community first, yeah, the mission's clear. Grow the fire, spread the cheer. Third eye open, see the vision grow. Roots run deep when the love gon' flow. From the coast to the Midwest plains, organic flames running through my veins. Consult the growers, pass the flame. Teach them the craft, yeah, spread the name. No shortcuts, just nature's way. Clayton been doing this day by day. Living that life, no chemicals near. Sun-grown soul, the message is clear. Not just a crop, it's a movement strong. Generations blessed when the vibe stays on. It ain't just weed, it's a way of life. Family love, no greed, no strife. Community first, yeah, the mission's clear. Grow the fire, spread the cheer. Third eye open, see the vision grow. Roots run deep when the love gon' flow. From the coast to the Midwest plains, organic flames running through my veins. Call it third eye, call it fate. A little bit of love on every plate. Grow the land, feed the soul. Pass it down, let the legend roll. So when you spark, just know the name. Third Eye Organics in the growers game. West Coast hard and Missouri ground. But the love we grow gon' spread all around.
As I was trying to swallow. Right on. I think we're live. It says live now. Happy Third Eye Thursday, everybody. I'm stoked for tonight. You guys got green thumbs. You need to hashtag them. You need to bring them onto the show. We've got two amazing cannabis gals. I was going to say representative, but they're amazing cannabis gals with amazing husbands, and I can't even start to go back with everything they've done, everything they're doing. So we're going to have them on to talk a little bit about where they came from, where they're at now. And we're going to talk a little bit about, we got the brothers Grimm grow off, a couple of the green thumbs coming on to shoot a question to one of our guests, Mrs. Soul, Laura Campinalla. Our other amazing guest is Victoria, I hope I don't eat this up, Rouland from Subcool. Subcoolseeds.com. Thank you, ladies. How are you this evening?
You're welcome.
Hi.
So where do we start? Oh my goodness. I mean,
Where do you want to start?
I've been watching YouTubes of you guys YouTube gals all day long. So it's kind of
Oh gosh.
it's pretty
No pressure.
it's really neat to no pressure. Hey, I don't like to Google myself all the time either. It's kind of funny.
I've never Googled myself.
My son actually had to Google me for school, and let's just say that didn't go over so well.
I don't want to look.
No, don't Google yourself.
I'm not gonna.
Don't do it.
I'm just gonna roll with the universe. We're just gonna flow.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not gonna.
keyboard warriors. They put your body on different animals and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Wow. Yeah, but we're good. We're good.
We're good.
Can't imagine
So,
where I'm at. I'm everywhere.
I mean, hey, if they got the time to do it, then I'm honored.
Hey, if pagers took pictures, that's kind of, I date myself a little bit then, but you know, if pagers had pictures, it'd have been some good times.
Oh yeah.
So I believe everybody on here knows Miss Laura and the Brothers Grimm Seeds, her amazing breeder husband Rick Campinalla has been a idol of mine for a long time, and then our other guest. See, you guys are giving me goosebumps. My wife's gonna be mad at me. No, I'm just kidding. She's way cool. She was right with me on Google. So
No.
Victoria, you guys
off.
huh?
I was talking to my husband. He's coming in late, per usual. Here,
I like to let everybody get warmed up.
I'm gonna let you sit
Are
here.
you warmed up?
You gonna say hi?
Hey, hi.
We are warmed up. Hi, Rick.
Right
You
behind
know
us.
what? Looks
Blowing
fine.
out.
You're sitting.
All right.
I'm gonna let him come in hot.
Looks like,
Just
Awesome. How are you this evening?
ladies and gentlemen, how are we today?
Hi,
We
brother.
are doing awesome.
So, what are we talking about?
First off, I'm trying not to schoolgirl Giddy over here. I wanted to, we had a little show and tell earlier, but this is your Cinderella 99 times Northern Lights.
Okay.
I had discussed with Laura in a conversation why I had stopped growing what I thought was the original Northern Lights back in the day. This is amazing. I can't wait. This is a week early cut, even, the taster
Yeah.
that you got to. And then we have the Cinderella times headband. I can't wait for that.
That's another one that everybody
then we
seems
got
about. Yeah.
and then this Grimm glue is just gnarly.
Yeah.
Um,
We're pretty proud, and we've been
thanks
hitting
for
the right combinations now for a long time, and it's always something that you kind of marvel at, and you say, I see it as a simple thing, and people kind of overcomplicate it, in my opinion. And then I don't know. Sometimes that's just the way it feels when you're someone who I think is passionate or has spent enough time in the trenches and built up enough scar tissue to learn how to do something in the right way. Then it seems easy,
right.
Maybe ask a musician, what is it about playing the piano that, why are you so good at it? Practice. Practice. How do you get this Carnegie Hall?
Lots of practice.
Humble. He's got an eye for it. Jeez, brother.
I don't really.
And that's it too. Everybody on here is going, Rick, you may call it easy, buddy,
That's
but
what I'm
the
saying.
strains that you pull out,
Magic.
the eye that you have.
Just keeping them healthy is, part of the process, I think. And I can't say how many times people have walked into our facility and they go, what the hell? Wait a minute. Every single plant in here looks perfect and healthy. And well, what shouldn't they? What should they look like? So I guess you start to take for granted certain things. And I think a lot of it is what I call reading the plant. A lot of the catchphrase nowadays, read the room, right? Read the grow room. And mainly talking to one of my assistants, I think just this morning or yesterday, I was pointing out how, it's almost like taking a patient's temperature. If you're a doctor, it's like one of the how is the plant looking in terms of like how yellow or how dark green or anywhere in between that it is. And that's usually biggest indicator of whether you're doing things right. And when they're yellow or pale green, there's usually two things to look at. They're either being overwatered or under fertilized, or both. And if you had to guess, you should back off on the water first before you add fertilizer, obviously, right? I take that as obvious, but some people might not.
Yeah, that's a great tip.
I see Victoria out there. I don't even need my magic, magnifying glass like they used to use at Romper Room. Like, I see Victoria and I see Billy. Okay. How you doing, Vic?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Yeah, I feel good. I've been feeling great lately. I mean, I hate to pat myself on the back or brag too much, but, for a guy over 40, I feel pretty good.
That's all you can ask for, right?
I just turned 50 in 2009, and I feel great.
I love that.
That's awesome. It is a pleasure, and I appreciate all the knowledge you can speak on here.
Well, Clayton, I see you there. You're a regular, very consistent, and consistency is another thing that goes a long way in this business or in this activity. You can't tell if what you're doing, if you make a change in something, it's hard to track whether that was the reason for some change in the room if it's not the only thing you've changed. So, varying one variable at a time is another, important concept to grasp, when you're working with a system like plants. And if you go and change 2 or 3 things and then you go, oh, well, things kind of took a dive there. I don't know what the hell happened. Which of the 3 things should I blame it on? You know what I mean? Do one at a time and you'll be able to say, so, it's that one thing that I changed. I lowered the light intensity in the room, and all the plants started getting wimpy, not having very strong branches and whatever. Oh, okay. So they want more light. Reading the plant.
They want more light.
Yeah, they want more light. In general, I've always felt like cannabis plants can handle as much light as you can throw at them until I got these LEDs from Foes, and they're so powerful that if you turn them up to 100%, you will literally get spots where it's burning the plants, and it's not from being too close to the light. It's just the intensity of the different frequencies that are hitting the plant. Mm-hmm. So my wife,
the LEDs are intense now.
Yeah, Laura, she loves the number 78 for reasons which may become obvious or may already be obvious. But she, because of that, I always start the rooms on 78% of full power on the lights. It's kind of funny. But then when I feel like they need when they need more intense light, guess what I do then? I go up to 87.
Swap it around.
There's a little black magic involved.
The plants love it though, so that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
And I've taken to bass fishing in the past year and really gotten
I've seen that.
I'm bitten by the bug. I'm out bass fishing almost every day. Little bit of trout once in a while, because if the bass aren't biting and you just feel like I got to catch a fish, man, there's some trout around here too. And they're usually more active, even in the winter. They love the cold water, where bass, they go to sleep. So anyway, that's what's happening.
He's catching trout, and I'm out here trying to catch turkeys and armadillos.
Yeah. Well, you've probably been pretty successful at that.
I haven't. I failed every time.
Yeah, we were just pumping her up. She's going to get off the show tonight and be running outside with a flashlight trying to catch the armadillo.
I'm going to catch me one.
Is that common in Oklahoma? They have a lot of
armadillos. I guess. Oh yeah, we have a ton of
armadillos. They're more in the
south.
Yeah. Southwest, like Texas and
we are. They want to be.
Are you in the southern part of Oklahoma?
We are. Yeah.
Must be.
We're so close to Texas. They want to be Texas.
Oh wow. Yeah. But then
we have them all the way up here.
You know what?
We have them all the way up in Kansas City.
Oh, and you're in Kansas City? Oh, where they got all that great barbecue? God damn.
Oh yeah.
I went
Yes.
through there one time and had some barbecue, and it was out of this world. I don't know whether it's the baby
Like
back
you
ribs.
guys, I've gotten to travel a bit. The barbecue here is unreal. I
Yeah,
love the barbecue
I
here.
know. That's why I was saying, if you're in Kansas City, man, you're eating good. What do you like, the baby back ribs?
I like baby back ribs. I really like the you know what else they do out here a lot is the boils.
Oh, yeah, like a
Barbecue
crawfish
boils
boil?
with the with
I
shrimp,
love that.
with king crab, and
Believe
any
it or not,
slab and prime rib.
eating crawfish was the first time in my life that I provided for my family when I was only 6 years old. We lived in Hawaii, and there was a creek that ran through our backyard. my stepdad, I walked in the house. I had been down at the creek, and I said, "Oh man, it looks like there's like little lobsters walking around under the water out there." And he goes, "Oh yeah, they must be crayfish." I said, "I want to catch them." And he said, "If you do, bring them in and we'll boil them up for dinner." So I went down there and I took a piece of string and I tied it to the little metal part that holds a clothespin together, the little hinge, the spring part. And I put a little, I think I balled up some bread, you can make a bread ball. And I stuck it to the little metal part and threw the string and the bait in the water, and the crawfish would come over and grab it. And I just pull them right up and take one out. I had about 20 something crawfish in a pot, and I walked in the kitchen with it, and he was like, "What? You mean you caught all of those?" And there was enough for us to boil them up and actually have a dinner. I'm like, damn, I just provided dinner for my family. I'm 6 years old.
That's cool.
But I've been at it ever since. They get hungrier and hungrier, and more of them. More of them to feed.
They multiply. They definitely do multiply.
What do they have? Be prosperous and multiply, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're good. Wow. Yeah, I was never
The old Star Trek.
followed that closely enough. I just picked up a few key phrases and just bring them out at parties.
I just watched the Star Trek. That's all I know. Isn't that Spock that does that?
Yes, indeed.
Live long and prosper.
There it is. Somehow I thought about multiply was in there, but I guess not. Yeah. Well, live long and prosper. Yeah. So
or multiply.
Pretty good. My household is becoming more and more musical all the time. We've got tons of musical equipment and people singing and playing all over the house and stuff. So it's been awesome.
I love that for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is rad.
My new favorite band here, the T-shirt, the Red Clay Strays. I love those guys.
Nice.
Man, if you're into Southern music with a little twinge of the Bible Belt in it, man, these guys are killer. They sound terrific. The music is really well written and played, and then there's always some sort of meaning in the songs that I really connect with, I guess. And even though I'm atheist,
check that out.
I love that shit. The guy's singing about how God hasn't left him behind and he's going to fucking somehow persevere. Go with God, I say.
Have a good trip.
Well, anyway. So, any questions, or am I wasting time with just shooting?
No, you are golden. You were just.
If anybody wants to know something, I'm all ears.
I can. Hey, you guys, definitely. I see a lot of green thumbs that I know personally are badass growers on here. If you guys got some questions here for Rick, I mean, you guys all know there's 100,000 people right now that would want to be sitting here talking to Rick and your wife and Victoria, and so we've got him here. So if you guys got some questions, we do have two green thumbs from the last Brother Grimm's grow off with these ones, Cinderella's. They're gonna pop in here. I'm sure Steve-O will grab one of them up here real quick. They were pretty green giddy to talk to you guys, and definitely
oh shit, it's me. No.
There's the Muffin Man. What's up, Richard? How are you?
It's a beautiful day. I'm on break. So I had a chance
Yeah.
to come out here and share this moment. And man, like, thank you, Clayton. It's beyond humbling and all like I can't even. I'm like Clayton, like a little schoolgirl here, just going, oh my God, really? Is this happening? Is this real life?
I know.
Right. I've heard nothing. Right. I've heard nothing but stories my whole grow career, I guess. Is that what you want to call it?
You're
Always heard about Subcool and about the genetics and everything, and the opportunity for that, man, dude, you ain't gonna be able to wipe the smile off my face. Grimm's. So I had a shop. I had a small shop that I was running, a grow shop. We had some Grimm seeds in there that we bought from third party. You know, someone that had purchased a pack or packs or whatever, and then they were hard up for some money or whatever, and we took their catalog or whatever, and that's how we actually opened the store and started selling seeds, and never had no complaints from or nothing. But now got the opportunity to actually grow some fire ass genetics. I mean, we've been growing, I know, for at least the last 9 months, the Uber winch, like for sure. That's a massive plant, a hell of a yielder. It smells good. It puts you on your ass. Like it's that's what it's about, But yeah, I mean, I don't. I'm in the moment now, and my brain's all nuts. But like we've actually had quite like 4 or 5 strains in my garden. Like I've personally grown 4 or 5 strains in the last 6 to 9 months full cycle, and I've been very happy with it.
Like
but now,
9 months, I think you said. Anyway, I can't tell you how often it is that people say that very thing. Well, we've grown different company seeds, and then we had sort of okay results or spotty results, and then they'll buy Brothers Grimm seeds and say, "Wow, I mean, I guess this is the way they're supposed to work," and it's not just like one strain happens to be good. We are pretty proud of the way across the board we only pick the best stuff to release to the public, and the public helps a lot by buying the testers and giving us feedback on them. And my little team here has been brilliant in presenting that stuff to the public, and I believe we're making more genetics of a higher level and rarer combinations than any other company, and they're being put out very frequently. There's no long delays of we have this in the works, and one day in the a long time from now we'll have it ready. I think that these guys were brilliant in the way that they presented tester seeds, and they charge a small amount for them, not enough to hurt, but enough that people will take it seriously. That's the point. Like you can imagine if somebody gets free seeds as a tester seed, they may or may not grow them. They may or not take them very seriously. But if they're like them enough to say, I'm going to plunk down $15 or something, minimal amount of money, when it comes to buying a pack of seeds, they just tend to take it a whole lot more seriously and say, oh, wow, I've bought these seeds and I'm supposed to grow them, and I'm supposed to provide feedback to the company that gave them to me, because, it didn't occur to me in all these years, like 30 years of growing and breeding, that, that would be a way to get tester seeds in people's hands and actually get them to be motivated to grow them and give feedback. But, Laura came to me with that idea a couple of years ago, and I said, if you can make that work, great, but then once we started to reevaluate what is actually happening, when you think about it, what better way you could think of to test a new strain than to have your customers actually run it and then get back to you what they think of it. And if they end up liking it, 2 things were accomplished. You had a bigger group of plants being grown and tested than just, a handful that you could manage on your own as a breeder in your own facility, versus hundreds of people growing dozens of seeds each. And then not only are they testing the seeds and creating a bigger population to draw your conclusions from, and then, when you're working with statistics, large populations important to get meaningful data. And not only is it meaningful from a number of people and the number of plants being grown. It's also who those people are. They're the ones who would be interested in being the buyers of those seeds one day. And so if they tell you they like them and then you release them as a regular strain someday, what are the chances that they're not going to like them? They told you they liked them already. You know what I mean? So it's a perfect circle.
Yep, I definitely agree with that. Well, I very much enjoy and thank you for the opportunity to grow in this past grow off. And I say past because I'm pretty well past that point. I've submitted pictures for all three of the ones that we did, which was the headband, the Cinderella, the Northern Lights and Cinderella 99 Cross, and the Grimm glue. Now the Grimm glue did take the longest, and it probably yielded the most out of all of them, but very happy with the structure of the buds.
Nice.
Very easy to work with. And
well, I've always been, one of my goals and one of the qualities that I'm known for is consistency, uniformity. If you buy a pack of seeds, they're all going to look the same. The plants are going to be very similar to each other. And if you bought a pack of seeds in, 2020, they're going to buy the same strain in 2025, and they're going to be the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We're very picky about all that stuff. And I often sit down with the team, people working here, and break it down to them, make it clear that, what the people expect when they buy our seeds. There's three things that are the most important thing. They want to know that this package of seeds contains the right strain, the one that it says it is on the package.
Right.
And they have to be viable, and they need to have the right number of seeds in the vial when they open it. And so if you can get those things right, almost everything else is going to fall in line too,
I totally agree. Well, I tell you what, I don't want to take up any more time or anything. I kind of am at work, so
okay.
I want to kick back off. But listen,
man, it was real good hearing from you. You look like a real straight up stand-up guy, and if you live on Drury Lane, man, that would just make everything so perfect.
Well, actually, I live on Baker Street, which is even funnier.
Hey, that makes it better.
All the best. What kind of work do you do?
I sell car parts, buddy. I work at Advanced Auto, but
all right. Well,
but yeah, for sure. And I just want to say one more thing about money for seeds. Okay. Please. You did hit on that, but I'm going to tell you, and coming from me, I work paycheck to paycheck. I'm not no one special, but I love to grow me some cannabis, and the investment's worth it as long as you're investing that money in the right seeds. Your seeds are the good seeds. Wow. Your seeds will work. Your seeds are the right seeds. All these Subcool genetics that I've been hearing about and seeing about all my life, proof is in the pudding. So that's where you put your pudding, Well,
he was my oldest, what would you call it, contemporary in this business that I knew and loved him the longest of anybody. And he's gone now a few years. But he and I clicked and hit it off from our very earliest interactions. And we just were good friends ever since, and even without seeing each other in person, just the communication back and forth through.
You guys picked up like it was nothing every time you guys talked.
Yeah, right. It was like no time.
It was like you guys talked yesterday.
Could be, 10 years went by and I haven't heard from you, seen you or nothing. But then as soon as we started talking, it was like yesterday.
And now he's stuck with me.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you all so much. Look forward to growing some more good shit. I promise.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
All right. Sell some tires.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. He's a amazing grower. We call him he's the muffin man because I'll say he makes these mini muffins. And if you guys don't mind mail or a shipment, he will send you a dozen of these out, and he has all different flavors, him and his wife. And I'm telling you, only eat one, but it's really hard to only eat one. They are medicated.
So
I would hope
edibles.
If I tried them, I would have to say, it would be one of the few edibles that I ever liked. Most of them, when I got here to Colorado and people were offering me edibles, I'd try a couple things and I was like, gee, that just isn't the same as I recall. I was in college and I can remember one incident very distinctly, and it was back when Macintosh, computer was basically the only thing you could get, those little Macintosh. And I was writing a paper for college on that thing, and I decided I'm going to go in the kitchen, and I took a joint and crushed it up and mixed it in some cookie batter, put it in the oven and let it, cook and bake in there. And when it came out and I ate that cookie, I went back to writing my paper, and about a half an hour or maybe 40 minutes later, I started feeling like giggly. I couldn't take, like, the smile wouldn't go away from my face. I felt stoned like I smoked a joint. Now, I haven't had an edible that gives you that kind of high ever since, basically. It just gives me a dull, lethargic, like dragging feeling and a low-grade headache. And it's awful.
Sub made these little cookies that would do that. Like, they would knock you on your ass. Like, you'd be out for 2 days afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know what they're getting wrong, but they're getting something wrong when they make the edibles nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, over my couple years of smoking and growing cannabis myself, I'll tell you, those muffins, like, he'll send you some. I'll get you guys the address when we're done. You will say thank you. Even if you don't like eating edibles and muffins, his baking is just, they're just so good. I've had muffins all over the country. Like,
what about, do you feel high after you eat the muffin?
Yeah.
Is it a quality high where you feel like, oh, I'm stoned? I like this feeling. Good.
It is actually. We just did a Harvest Fest event downtown Kansas City, a few hundred people, and he was one of our sponsors, and he had everybody up, and like his phone hasn't stopped. So, because he's an amazing dude.
There was a guy here in Colorado who moved away, and he was called Willy Wonka. And he's still out there somewhere. And he came by last year. Well,
is that the chocolate factory, brother? Duh.
Yeah, he was good at making things that were edibles that looked like and tasted like something else. Like, he did a Snickers bar. I forget a couple other things that were like, oh yeah, Skittles or something. I forget which, but he was a very good baker and cooker of those kinds of things. And I enjoyed his stuff. But again, I don't think the high was ever anything you'd write home about. It's more about the flavor and, imagine that. Look, it tastes just like a Snickers bar or whatever, but okay.
It's like that. If I used to grow these white strawberries that tasted like pineapple.
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys have ever had those, but they're strawberries. They're white.
No, I never had.
You have to. I promise you, check them out, you guys. I populated a whole mountainside up in Washington, and there people. My friends go up there and still pick them to this day.
Man, that sounds like
you bite it, and it's like a triangle of pineapple. You're like, it just messes your whole head up, like you were saying. Like, you're thinking you're eating a Snickers bar, and it tastes like a Runts.
Right. Like, the one thing I could say is similar, or in that same vein of tasting like something else. I got those cotton candy grapes. You can buy seedless grapes now where they taste like cotton candy. It's amazing. Super good.
Yum.
I mean, almost to the point where if you eat too many, it's like you get sick, like you ate too much candy or something.
Like you ate too much cotton candy. I have a cotton candy machine right here on the other side of the wall.
Hey, yeah, I
put it out in the garage, or I'd be making it all the time. Yeah. It's really good.
We call it cotton candy. And when I was in France and Belgium, the word for cotton candy is barbe de papa. It means daddy's beard. Which is kind of like not very appetizing sounding, but certain things in America they don't really care for that we like a lot, like root beer. And a European person will like spit root beer out the minute they taste it. It's like, what is that horrible crap? And we like it. I love a root beer.
I love root beer. I definitely do love root beer.
They don't like it. You get served coffee in a paper cup either. It's supposed to be in a real ceramic cup with a, what do you call, saucer under it. and a cookie.
And a cookie.
Yeah. If you go into any
You-
cafe in Europe and you just order a coffee, you're going to get it in a ceramic cup with the saucer and the cookie.
And the
They don't
cookie.
do any less than that.
Yeah. No, I have not been to that side of the world.
You
Maybe.
should.
Maybe
Every
when I
American,
grow up.
ought to spend a year in Europe or something, or any other country where you can look at your own country from a distance, because it's a very different perspective, and you start to see things the way the rest of the world sees it. And it's not as sugar coated as the media here would have you think it. You know. And we were there long before the internet. I was in Scotland in 1990 and 1991. There was no internet, and we'd just get letters from home, and we'd get TV shows and things like that. But at that time, it was the Iraq War #1, like where the Falkland Islands and all that other nonsense was going on. And every time we'd read about things, we'd get this worldwide perspective in the newspaper, and then our friends would write from home, and their letters would sound like the impassioned pleas of some group that was extremely jingoistic about the country, like, we've got to stand up for our country. Can you believe what's going on? You're like, well, there's nothing really all that much going on. You're blowing it a little out of proportion. So I think it's a good experience for everybody to get out of their own country, see what it's like looking in from the distance. Not only that, I love to see cultures and language, the way that people express themselves in different countries, and learning about their history and the etiquette in their countries and things like that. It's fascinating, because if you grow up and you live in a small circle, you think the whole world's like that, and it really isn't. But enough pontificating and philosophizing over here. So you all your
Costco has those grapes.
contest. That's the reason we're all gathered together here today. And congratulate everybody.
Wanted to. Well, I know you've been traveling. You've been busy. I've seen you. You've been traveling. You were up in Canada.
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago.
Thankfully, that was it. I bet you that was cool. His Bubble's cool as shit.
He is. Yeah, the whole gang. They're all very cool.
The whole gang is probably fucking cool.
You saw when I was there with them at the table, and we all sat and talked and smoked a little, and they were just as the way that you would expect them to be from watching the show in real life. And they grew up in that neighborhood there, and none of them, they're not flown in from somewhere else as special stars or actors to act out these parts as if they were from there. They are actually actors who are from there.
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, can you tell us, are they legit from the trailer park? Because
they're totally from, it's like they're with, the office, the studio where they film that show is like 5 miles from where they all grew up, the neighborhood. And it's being filmed live. They don't edit. I mean, that's their formula.
Now, okay, I got a whole new respect for the boys then. All right. Because,
having any respect would be appreciated,
Yeah, like full more respect though. Because sometimes they just act like it, and it's like, dude, come on. If they're faking it, that would be one thing. But like the fact that they grew up there, all right.
Yeah, I think that it may be an exaggeration of their own natural, behavior, and
I love that though.
Yeah, so they do good. I had fun.
It was rad. I'm from. I grew up in a trailer park, and my uncle was the one who had the one trailer that nobody went to. And all the windows were blocked off. And it was just that's why I love watching them. I'm like, that's my uncle. There's my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're hilarious.
I wish I could say I envy y'all for that, but it is interesting to hear about, and it's very common. I hear people also say, where I grew up, it was kind of like that. My wife will say that. My best friends, like that just goes to show you the types of people I like hanging out with. Good God,
I know.
What does that say about me?
We're just pulling you to us, right?
Laura says it means you're magical.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
My dad was the first trailer in the park to have a hot tub.
Oh,
Ooh,
that
look
would
at
be
that.
me.
That was unreal. I walked out as a small kid because he put the lattice around it and built a little deck out front.
Sounds
And
a
I
lot like
walked out
mine.
and seen many neighbors unclothed. That thing, yeah, as a
That
young
house was a
kid, I'm like,
party
oh
house.
wow, yeah, yeah.
My hair's just barely gotten dry. I was in it about 20 minutes ago.
Rub it in.
I gotta love a hot tub. That's become part of my life. I don't think I'd be able to get around without it. It wakes me up when I'm tired. It puts me into a peaceful state when I want to go to sleep. It's good for what else? Well, good for what ails you, you know. I get a lot of little aches and pains being over 40 now, and it really helps to put them in that hot water with those jets blowing, the jacuzzi action on the tendons and joints and stuff. It really loosens you up. Somebody's talking about growing up in a trailer court, had a band and a song, Laundromat Love. That's pretty cool. You know, that reminds me, sometimes people will say, oh, she's got a potty mouth when somebody speaks, you know, like Victoria probably use a lot of cuss words and such.
They're fucking sentence enhancers, okay?
Did you yeah, sentence enhancers. I love it.
Sentence
So
enhancers,
you ever hear that
that's it.
expression, potty mouth? Seriously.
Oh, yeah,
you know
I
what-
get told that all the time.
I realized one day that there's one thing worse than a potty mouth. You know what that? The porta potty mouth.
I might have that sometimes too.
That's pretty dirty.
Porta potty mouth. Well, hey, you guys. I do not want you to leave. 7 o'clock to 7:10. We get ready for our 7:10 smoke out dab session. We're gonna bring on some gentlemen. Some gentlemen. I'm not sure if they're back there yet, Steve-O. If they're not, I know they both run some businesses, and they may be working. I'm not sure if Danny and Jay are back there yet. But when they do come on, we do a 7:10 sesh, and kind of tell everybody what Slap Nasty Entertainment is doing, and I'm actually going to put them in contact with you guys, Rick, because they do some pretty neat things in mud bogs and, you know, the big mud fests and all that. And so they wanted to talk to you and Laura about some cool things.
He's got a pipe in his hand. You want this?
This is the bag.
Want this one?
I'm trying to get prepared for your 7:10 festivities.
You're good. So I told my wife that I have, I'm growing 3 strains of somebody I look up to, and I need a nice new bomb.
Wow.
So these are just a hair early. Which one do we want to try? The Northern Lights Cinderella or the Headband Cinderella? Hey, you know what? I'm gonna have Rick tell me what to load in my bowl.
Okay. Yeah.
You know
Let me
say the head
distance here. Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
G13.
Sure.
I say the headband.
That's fine.
All right, Rick.
If that were me, I like that headband a lot. You know, the headband 99.
I told you, brother.
And we're working on a whole new crop of it right now.
So you're working on a new cross with the headband there? You
Not
said,
a new
Rick?
cross, a new crop of it. You know, we're
A
putting
whole new
in.
crop. Okay.
We've got a whole room making more of that headband.
Hell yeah.
And it'll be starting in probably 3 weeks or something like that. But the Motahari,
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that one.
too. A lot of people gave us a positive feedback on Motahari, and we really like it around here too. So that's one of the nice things also, like I was saying about our testing program, is that when we hear feedback from customers and then we see, we can compare to what we got, the results we got ourselves here. And it's either going to, sound like, oh yeah, they're getting the same as we are, or wow, that's different. We didn't get anything like that from our pack of seeds. But most of the time, as you can imagine, it's pretty consistent. And it's like, oh, yeah, you're seeing the same things we see here. We got a bunch
Yeah,
of
it's been real fun.
head plant, Richie.
It's been real fun to do this grow off and have all these beans and opportunity to pop everything and watch everybody's different results throughout this process. Like that's my favorite part. Watch the different plants.
Everybody learns how to germinate seeds and, you know, kind of share their own little private method of like, this always works for me. And I mean, I know a way I do it and I get great results. And yet at the same time, somebody else might say, well, you know, I do it my way, but I get similar results. And so whatever works for you. But I think
do you germinate, brother?
Yeah, here you go. I'll offer some advice in that area. You don't want to drown the seeds, but you do want to get them saturated with water initially. And so I'll take a cup of water and drop the seeds into the cup of water, leave them overnight, you know, maximum 24 hours. And then stir the water, and all the seeds that sink to the bottom are saturated with water, and the ones that float are probably not going to germinate. So I just skim them away if there are any. And then the seeds that are soaked, I'll take a paper towel out and dump out that water from the cup onto the paper towel to get the paper towel soaked. And then I'll throw the seeds on that paper towel, fold it up, and put it back in the cup. So now they're not saturated in water. They're just being surrounded by a damp paper towel. And 24 hours after that, I open the paper towel and all the seeds that have split and have a little bit of a root coming out of them, plant them in the medium, whatever you're going to put them in, rock wool, or, you know, for us, it's soil. And don't bury them too deep, because in soil in particular, you put that seed down even 1 inch from the top, chances are it's going to rot before it reaches the surface of the soil, because it's got to stay damp in the soil. But at the same time, if it's taking too long for it to come up and hit any light and start turning green, it's yellow and can
I put mine right below the soil.
Right. And you get damp off and those kinds of things. So what I'll do is, as soon as I see that taproot starting to split from the seed, I don't let it go. I don't even let it be more than like a ½ an inch long. As soon as I see any little white coming out of that crack in the seed, plant them. And I plant them with the root coming upward, because that root is intended to make a U-turn and start going down. So you point it up first, and then it turns around, goes down, and it pushes the seed up in a way where now the seed is going to open like a suitcase, where the hinge is on the bottom. And as it's getting pushed up through the soil, it's only the soil's pushing it more and more open as it rises. The other way, if you plant it with the seed taproot going down, that suitcase is being pushed up with the hinge at the top. The soil's closing the seed as it's trying to go up. It's not allowing it to open. And that's why people end up with the seedlings that have those little seeds stuck to the top of the plant. So you can avoid that completely by putting the seeds in at the taproot pointing up.
I would drive you crazy if I germinated around you. I would drive you absolutely crazy. I call myself the Germinator.
Yeah.
I gave myself the nickname. And I just let them soak until they pop. And then I plant them. But like right below the surface. And then I baby them until they're plants. And then I hand them off to Will.
It's always the ones that you planted too deep that end up not coming out. Put them in ½ an inch or so. That's perfect. I just push it down enough to cover the root and give it a chance, so that you don't have it so close to the surface that the root will come up and actually breach the surface of the soil before it starts turning around. That's not good, but you know, just below that level. So that's what I do. And then the other thing is give them plenty of light right away. People think they have to baby the seedlings when they come out of the seed, and you get that first the cotyledons and the first couple leaves. Those things can stand as much light as a full-grown plant. The reason is there's so little surface area. Those leaves are such a tiny amount of area for the light to hit that it can be intense as fuck. It doesn't have to be some wimpy little fluorescent light or something. I'm going to baby them until they're old enough to get the full intensity of the light, you know, from a regular veg room. If plants needed that kind of tender treatment, they would have never grown in the wild, because the sun isn't exactly going to somehow say, oh, wait, there's seedlings on the ground. I can't.
Yeah. There's a little bit of shade for you.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
So yeah,
Ain't gonna
that's
happen.
a couple of bigger mistakes, and also they can handle a lot stronger fertilizer when they're young than people think too, and that's why you see a lot of people with really weak-looking seedlings that are 2 or 3 inches tall and they're like 5 weeks old. And you're like, what the hell you been doing? What are you holding? How are you holding that plant back so badly? It's because they think, oh, I'm just going to give it plain water and let it live off of the nutrients that are in the soil. Yeah, good luck with that. They're what they call a gross feeding plant. That's what cannabis is. If you look up their characteristics, they call it a gross feeder. So they like to eat. Give them plenty.
They will eat. Got to give them enough.
Also, color of the leaves is the huge, like taking the plant's vital signs. You get the temperature by looking at the color, and if they look emerald green, super dark, okay, better back off on the fertilizer. That's a bit much. But when they're pale and pale green or yellowish, boy, they need more nitrogen. So
Hope you guys are all sucking up this info. I know they listen to my grow babble all the time, but hey, what he just described as his germination process is damn near spot on how I do it, and I'm glad that I just heard all that. I paper towel it too, back in the Tupperware. Get a little tiny white coming out.
I hybridized the two methods of soaking the seed versus putting it in the paper towel. Sink and they're saturated with water, and after drowning the seed if you leave them in the water too much longer after that. But then when they're in that damp paper towel, they love that, and there's air and moisture, and they can start sending that root out. And as soon as it does, all you want to do when you're doing that is guarantee that, like, oh yeah, this is a seed that has germinated and I can plant it, and there's 99% chance it's going to grow into a plant, as opposed to I've got a seed, I haven't tried to germinate it yet. I'm just going to plant it in the dirt and hope that all the conditions are right and it'll germinate and start growing right there in the medium, which a lot of times it will if you do it right. But you're eliminating a lot of the possible faux pas that someone could make along that way. The soil's too dry, the soil's too wet. Humidity, they tried to cover it with that's another thing. Sometimes people try to cover up their seedlings with a plastic dome or something when they're little like that. And it's the worst thing you can do because they're so susceptible to being rotted or damped off by mold or something. You want to keep light air flow around them and keep the conditions above the soil like dry, not too humid. So putting a dome over young seedlings is just a huge error. There you go. A few words of wisdom.
Thanks for that info.
For the crowd here.
There he is.
Excellent plant down to the
What's
end.
up, Tim?
Yeah, that's about the right
Butler.
there. Rasta Rhino Homestead 24 says he uses a pencil and plants down to the end of the sharpened point, which would be about slightly less
About
than
a half inch.
Perfect.
Yeah, right about a half inch.
Talking about just the lead part from the point up to where you start hitting wood. I mean, that's the way I interpret what he said. Another guy says he pitches. That's Ray. Ray says he soaks the seeds in water. Always pitch the ones that drip to the bottom. Huh. Okay. I have success when they float. Okay. Well, that's the opposite of what I would recommend, but that's amazing that the floaters are the ones that he chooses and they germinate. My most trusted method is to hand the seeds over to a friend so they can do it. I'm like, okay, Tammy Jean, well done. Spoken like a true 21st century woman. Frank's Canna Lounge. This is a man of experience. I can tell not many people on the poo tube speak facts like this. Thank you, Frank. Much appreciated. Well, I do try to keep it real. Wherever the chips may fall.
She's smoking pizza. Is that made out of glass?
A pizza?
Yeah.
Is that ceramic or
ceramic.
glass?
Start with the pizza.
No, it's ceramic.
People who use domes
That-
usually
that-
live in extremely dry
Look at that.
climates, like not here on the
Those
East
guys,
Coast.
that's
Yeah,
a piece of pizza.
yeah, I
wanna
guess.
smoke out of
You know,
pizza.
what's going to
I
happen
picked
when
it
they
up
have
at
I've
to
never
take the dome
seen
off?
that.
It's still going to be dry. Right?
I picked it up at a
Anyway.
street show in Dallas.
Nice. I was trying to look at it earlier because I'm a glass blower, and I was looking at it going, how in the? But it's really hard to do flat
Ooh,
glass like that and
Yeah.
still have air in it.
I like it. Yeah, it's ceramic, right?
yeah.
It's
I'm from
good.
New York. I have to have a piece of pizza.
Hey, Clayton, did you want to start a
I was
giveaway?
pretty surprised when your kid
Yeah.
came home from school with that one day, huh?
Yeah.
We better get a hashtag giveaway up there. Mr. and Mrs. Soul were graciously donated some beans to tonight's giveaway, so we should get
Yeah.
that rolling while we're
All
sitting
right.
here
Well, that's
chatting.
cool.
And
All right, let's do
How you
it.
doing a giveaway? Are you
I
picking random?
believe
Hashtag.
yeah, we do a hashtag. Let's do hashtag Brothers Grimm.
You got it. I'll be right back with that.
All right.
Hashtag.
Hashtag
So we have Mr. Butler on. What's up, Tim?
How you doing there,
Go,
Tim?
guys.
I see you, man.
I didn't want to interrupt the knowledge that was going on there.
Oh no.
When Rick's spitting facts, I want to listen and I want to hear everything you got to
yeah.
say. Much love, man.
You guys are too kind. Thank you so much. And if you have anything burning question on your own mind, bring it forward, man. I'd love to hear it.
I mean, not really.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of the stories from Laura. I just love hearing the stories from you directly. It's
Sure.
just cool. I got a lot of respect. I'm actually smoking your Cinderella Purple as we speak.
You know how Brothers Grimm got its start? We were in a chat group, private chat group, and Subcool was one of the members. It was called the 77. I don't know if it was because we restricted the membership to only 77 people or what it was, but for whatever reason, they called it
I've
the
heard a
77.
couple of different reasons, but yeah, that was one of the
Subcool
main
ever
ones.
talk about that with you? I imagine he
Yes,
did.
he
might have a
did.
episode where we talked about that or something, right?
I probably heard
Anyway.
it at least 100 times.
Right. So anyway, in that group, which everyone felt complimented or honored, to be invited, and so we all treated it like we're all gentlemen at a country club or something. The respect between each other is like, okay, this is another guy who was invited to this group, so he gets the same kind of respect that you would expect to get yourself. And so Subcool and I started talking about things, and we exchanged genetics and sent seeds back and forth to each other and weed back and forth to each other. And I did that with a handful of different guys on that group. And one was a guy named Sly. His online name was Sly. His real name was Ron Wiseman, believe it or not, wise man, like a wise guy. And then he's from New York. And the movie Goodfellas, right? So he was kind of like that. And he called me one day, or he messaged me on the board and said, hey, man, why don't you give me your phone number? I'll give you a call. I want to talk about something. And he said, why don't we start a seed company? And I said, yeah, why not? What are you thinking? And he's like, well, you've created a few interesting strains, and I've got a whole grow room full of different plants that I want to cross and make seeds and be a breeder like you. And so I said, all right, let's try it. And his strong suit was not so much the breeding part of it, but the connections with other people. Like he got us hooked up with Richard at Heaven's Stairway, who was our first distributor of Brothers Grimm seeds, the only distributor really until 2015 or 16 when we reopened the company in this most recent phase. But back in those days, we only had the one outlet. It was Heaven's Stairway in Canada, a guy named Richard who ran the shop, and he bought the seeds from us for real cheap, and then he marked them up like 15 times that or something and sold them. And despite the markup, people loved the quality, the Cinderella 99, the Apollo 13, all those strains that I created back then. And Sly, he added to the menu with things like Green Giant and Alaskan Thunderfuck, that kind of stuff. And we had a little menu going of maybe a dozen or 15 different strains. And it lasted 4 years, maybe 5. And then one day I got a call from Sly saying, like, I think I compromise my anonymity, and I'm just like getting rid of everything in my house that's any kind of contraband. That if a knock at the door, and they come busting in, I won't have anything to incriminate me. And we had already kind of made a pact between us at the beginning that if we can keep this seed company thing going for like 5 years, and it's illegal, this is during Prohibition, we should probably pull the plug. We will have to think like, if we've been doing this for 5 years, it's probably we're pushing our luck to go any longer. And this was coming up on pretty close to 5 years of doing it. So when he called me and said what he said about being compromised and suggesting that you might want to do the same, well, it didn't take much arm twisting. I went straight downstairs and started shutting everything off and pulling all the equipment out and loading up a truck and taking it to a dump and moved to Europe about 3 months later. So we took that seriously.
He took off.
And I think Operation Green Thumb, where they arrested all those people that were online, bragging about their grows and stuff, was right around that time. I might have left 4 or 5 months before that went down. And so I look back on it like, maybe I dodged a bullet there. But that was the start and the end, real quick. The start and the end of Brothers Grimm. And then I started the company after I got to Colorado, and it's in a place where it's legal. I figured, okay, this time we'll do it legally and give people the same products and quality, and it just took off right away. There wasn't no arm twisting there.
Chernobyl is amazing. I can't wait. I think
that's one of Subcool.
That's what I'm hearing.
Was that not also with Juggernaut? Is that another one?
That's not a Brothers Grimm strain.
Chernobyl, Juggernaut. No, I'm just trying to think of the time when I grew those. Apollo.
I mean, Chernobyl is one of the cores.
Did that have the Apollo 13 back cross or something like that in it?
No, train. It's got like 3 different ones. Hold on. I don't want to fuck it up.
Rick, I've got a good question for you when you get a chance.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just bending over, picking up some weed that fell on the ground. It's an occupational hazard. So there it is. What's your question?
When I get off the podcast tonight, I'm going to call all my friends, Rick, and I'm going to be like, so Rick told me what bowl of weed to load tonight on the show.
Yeah. Let me, I see Frank from Canna Lounge is asking if I have any mutant plants. I don't have any mutant plants, Frank. I'm not one of those guys who like, I know there are many who feel like, oh, wow, this plant has got a weird shape or twisted leaves or variegation.
Just call me out. I love mutations.
And they think like, oh, that's something to keep. I have the opposite philosophy. I want everything to like be healthy and normal. And so I just cull anything that looks mutant or weird and keep only the beauty contest winners.
See, I love the mutants. Will kills them on me, but I got to hide them. Will will just take them out. He'll be like, nope, it's not pretty enough. And I'm just like, no, but it's a baby. I got to keep it. I
sense that your maternal instinct is kicking in a little on hyperdrive.
And I'm just like,
Oh, you have a grandbaby now too. That's true.
Oh, I do. I do have a grandbaby
now. The underdog theory.
Kids so recently. Where's the grandchild coming from? Already.
Don't forget the hashtag Brothers Grimm.
And that's for the giveaway contest.
Miss Laura said that there were some Cinderellas.
You're going to give away a breeder's pack.
Cinderella
99.
And
oh my God.
Wow. Okay, you get 3 of our classic strains in this giveaway. I guess you're going to get the classic Cinderella 99, Cinderella Pineapple, which was another I guess expression would be a good way to term it, but a different expression of C99 that emphasizes more of the pineapple, more of the classic C99 that people liked from the very first release of it. And the reason that the regular Cinderella 99 that we sell now isn't the same as that one is because I felt that I was improving it by improving some yield and branch strength and so on. But I could still give people the original classic too. So I figured I'd do both. And the other strain that we're giving away in this little giveaway is the Apollo feminized version of Apollo 11, which is a cross of Genius and C99.
Now, you guys, you have to subscribe.
Those three would make an interesting.
I'm learning all this.
Like the core.
Oh, I'd run that whole room. I'd run that whole room. That sounds exciting. I'm so excited to every run. I mean, every run we've got scheduled for the next.
Be too
So ready for in the original C99 though. I mean, if you haven't grew out the OG 99, that thing's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna get some more viewers on here. You guys don't forget to hashtag a friend. You got to get a friend on here. I know you get. I see all these growers on here, and I've spent a lot of time on the phone with a bunch of you guys because I love you, and I tell you how not to do shit I did. And same way, Rick spitting the knowledge. You know, go. If you're not following Brothers Grimm genetics already, you should be.
Yep, I can tell you. I was listening to George Harrison from the Beatles talk in an old tape, and he was saying how it's not really that long a time to go from 17 to 57, you know, so just be aware that before you know it, you know, these days that you thought never even get there are here before you know it. And you're like, oh, gee, I guess I'm the oldest guy in the room. And you try to impart on people that are younger than you things that will save them the pains that you went through learning what you did. And it's a natural reaction of the younger group to reject that advice because they need to experience that pain themselves just to learn the lessons. But we still try to save them from doing it. It's just this natural human reaction. We have that impulse or instinct. But
don't touch that. It's hot. I'm telling you, it's hot.
Yep.
Only one way to find out.
But some of us still touch it.
You can tell people.
Some of us still touch it.
There was an old joke where I think it was George Carlin who was saying, you can make millions of people believe that there's a little old man sitting on a cloud up in the sky looking over everything that you do and so on. But you put a sign on a bench that says wet paint, they still have to fucking touch it.
I miss that dude. Yeah.
Oh man, he was the best.
That's so rad you brought him. My cousin was on here, and I learned who George Carlin was back in the day through my cousin. That's cool. You brought him up. He's rad. He's funny as shit.
I can remember being like 11 years old, and he was becoming popular as the hippy dippy weatherman or something. That was one of his first routines that he used to do.
I was a chef for the Hilton back in the day. When I got out of the military, I went to culinary school. Anyways, nice. I ended up being a chef for the Hilton, and George, who else? Larry, the cable guy. There was we did a whole bunch of cool ass shows. You've heard of Bravo Productions, like the TV thing,
and
or
so
whatnot.
you were part of that. You saw these guys coming through on a regular basis and face to face.
I even snuck one of them alcohol when they weren't supposed to be having it, but I was the chef, and he asked me really nice, and I don't know who that was out of that group, but hey.
That's why they call them chefs.
They also brought them greenery too. That was the cool part too, is bringing all them from shit. I got to give Damien and Ziggy Marley some smoke.
Yeah, cool beans.
It
was all a dream. I used to read High Times magazine. Me and Damien Marley up in the limousine.
They're as cool as I thought they would be. They were.
I bet.
You know, I only made them because I was the chef, and everybody loves. You know, I'm bringing you munchies and food, man. You better be cool to me.
Absolutely.
You know. But
I respect that. I love to
anyways.
cook myself, and I consider myself a pretty good self-made chef. And but man, if you've gone through culinary school and everything, I respect that. That's a cool thing to have done, and I'm sure you can cook up a storm.
You'll have to come try a medicated meal sometime.
Yeah, we do.
Where
a little
exactly
thing out
are
here
you all? You're in the southeast Alabama.
We're in Kansas City.
We're in the
that's right. You
Midwest.
said
We're in
Kansas.
Missouri.
Yeah, KC.
So you're in Kansas City. I would be happy to come out to Kansas City sometime. We'll grab a barbecue lunch, do some fishing, smoke a little weed. Yeah.
I have a couple professional fishermen down here that would probably love to rock us on the boat for a day with
That
just
would be
a phone
cool.
call.
And
Well, let's keep that in mind.
We can throw a.
That's my favorite thing to do nowadays. I'll tell you. I had a
I
couple
love
of
fishing, especially catfishing.
I was out to one of the local ponds. It's a big one, and it has both trout and bass in it, weirdly enough. And when the bass aren't biting, usually you can catch a trout or two. And some big ones were jumping out there last night and today. And I threw out like a different lure. One get hit, and I got a fish on for about 30 seconds, and it was fighting for a minute, and then jumped out of the water, threw the fucking lure. And so I kept throwing that same lure for about 10 more casts. They weren't interested. It was like they learned just from one fish getting caught. Like, nope, we're not eating that. Switch to a different lure. First cast, boom, another one hits, stays on for 20, 30 seconds, and throws the lure out of its mouth. I'm like, what the hell? These fish are talented.
Them trout are smart, and they have rather small,
Incredible.
soft-sided mouths, so it's not hard to get the hook out.
Yeah,
I swear, sometimes they'll test us too. They'll be like, oh, I'm gonna give it a nibble just to see what you do. It's like, how quick are you on the reel sometimes?
Oh yeah,
Trout
we got brown trout to the south of us, and they put up a fight.
You got to set the hook at precise timing when you're fly fishing, man. It's not like you can be lazy about it. Like,
caught any brown trout
for a second, make sure there's really a trout on there.
I've never fished
It's like
for
immediate. Okay, now's the time. You missed it. Half a
Right,
second.
right. You know how sometimes they'll go and they'll like approach it,
whip,
but then they won't fully get to it. They back away for a second, and you're like, all right, I see what you're doing. And then you watch them come back, and you see them really get close to it, and you're like, all right, there it is. And that's when you nab them. You know, it's
so.
But I call it the little nibble before they get there.
People are so we love fishing, man. I can see it. It brought out a lot of energy from you all just when I brought the subject up, and everybody's got their own little bent on that. That's cool to see. I really think that's awesome. So, what
I've
you
got
asking?
the biggest
what do I like
channel
to throw?
cat this weekend.
What kind of bait?
Yeah, what color fly do you like to throw?
Oh, I'm not a big fly fisherman yet, and I just ordered a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to get into it this year. I had a guide take me out twice now, and we're in such a good part of Colorado for that. Like
You're in Colorado.
He's in the Gulf spot, man.
Yeah, man.
He's got freshwater creeks and everything.
Right. There's a freshwater stream runs down from Estes Park to where we live in Loveland, and that stream has a lot of trout in it. And some are big. And he took me out my first time fly fishing, taught me everything I needed to know to, get a decent day in of fly fishing. I caught like a 17-inch rainbow trout that day. And I thought, wow, that was really awesome, amongst half a dozen other smaller fish. And then this last time, he took me about a month ago, and I caught a 22-inch, 4-pound rainbow trout. It was like this giant goddamn fish jumping out of the water, putting on this incredible show. And we really didn't have a net because it was already filled with like 4 other fish that we were planning on keeping because they were so nice. But this one was like twice the size of any of them. And so I was really needing to like just play that fish and tire it out enough so that I could get it over near shore and like grab it by the lip and pull it out of the water because we couldn't use the net. And that was one of the most exciting fights from a fish I can ever imagine, because the beauty of this huge beast like leaping out of the water, and the clarity of the water was like you could see it underwater, above water, wherever. You're watching yourself fight this huge beast of a fish. And every time I get him close to where I think, okay, I'm bringing him in. All of a sudden he'd realize, oh fuck, they're getting me close to the shore, and like the drag would just get dragged out on the reel, and he's off another 20 feet into the river, and okay, back again. You know, that happened like 3 times before we landed it. God damn, that was a exciting moment on the water there. So I'm into it.
I miss.
I'll tell you the fly that I used that day, just so I don't lose the train of thought there. You were asking what did I fly fish with? It was a streamer type fly. I was using a 9-foot rod, number 5, and we had. I don't know much about the line. I can't say I know exactly what the line was, but the lure was a leech, imitation of a leech. Okay, streamer. That means it's in the middle of the water, right? And that big fish just went wham, and I mean, I swear I could see when I got the strike because the water was clear as fuck, and bang! I happened to definitely set the hook at the right moment, like I was saying how important that is earlier, and I'd practiced that enough on some smaller fish that when that big one came along, wham! I did it right, and lucky as hell, I got that thing in. So that was a proud moment.
I'm excited now. It's fishing season out here.
All of our trout here, we have to go down south, and we can get some decent browns down there by Taneycomo and stuff like that. But
browns can be a big.
Other than that, I stay in the rivers and the backwaters around here, and I catch a lot of catfish and gar and stuff like that. Different methods we use, but
yeah, I mean,
it's just fun to catch.
Gar is a good fight, I suppose, and. Florida, we caught a few nice bass down in Florida too back in February because we just had to get out of here and go someplace where there'd be some fish biting. And then now recently it's warming up around here. Water temperature is about 60 and
bass are spawning.
Yep, we're getting some. I've been catching like a pound and a half fish every day, at least one. And my buddy and I go out and sometimes we'll get, he'll get one, I'll get one. And then some days we each get a couple or something like that, but it's starting to pick up. And I was lucky enough to catch a 4-pounder about a month ago. And that was just from a body of water where I wasn't expecting it. And all of a sudden I feel this huge weight on the end of my line. And like, what the hell is that? Am I stuck to a stump on the bottom of the water? Like took a lot of, long fight, and it felt like a lot of weight on the end, and it turned out to be a 4-pound bass. We usually get like
I would have ended up in the water.
2.5 pounds around here is already like, oh, that's a real good fish. 4 pounds is just like, whoa.
See, I live in Massachusetts, so it's like most of the places around here, you get a few ponds and a few small areas that you can fish, but it's not anything that's great. And I mean, realistically, you can get like 5-6 pounders in some areas, but it's like you want good fish, you got to go off the coast around here.
Oh yeah, I know. There's a reservoir. Let me see if I can remember in Marlborough, Massachusetts. There's a large water, a reservoir. I was a bicycle racer, and there's a bicycle race that goes around that lake. And it's epic, and they do it every year. But I have read that is real good fishing there. Look it up.
So I live very close to there.
It starts with a W, doesn't it?
I'm not exactly sure the name of it because I've only lived in the area for a few years.
Look into that. Yeah. You'll find.
Yeah, no, there is some decent areas I know of, but like I said, it's very select and few around here. It's not that I have many opportunities unless you're going off the coast, because I'm very close to there, and that's about 40 miles inland.
I lived in Revere, Massachusetts. I lived in Revere. That's just north of Boston. It's in there's a beachy section there. There's a place called Revere Beach, right? And so I lived just north of that, on the very north end of the Revere Beach in a place called Point of Pines. And there are little islands and peninsulas just off of there where you can go to that are very cool in the summertime. And water temperature is cold right up until like August. I mean, you can't get in the water. It's freezing fucking cold in the water there. The rocky shorelines, it's not beachy, like sandy, it's like rocky beaches.
It depends on what point you're in too, because Point of Pines is the private beach section.
Yeah, I had a house there. So
Yeah.
it was
But
private,
if you
but I was allowed
if you
because
go,
I
it's
had
like what 2 miles down the beach from there. It's all
yes.
public beach,
It's
and it
about a
just
2 mile
becomes
beach.
awful.
Yep. And then it goes into like what's that next town north of there?
Isn't
Like
that
I think it's a
Quincy?
woman's name. Damn it. Shit.
Um,
It's been a while. I lived there for like 5 years, 6 years, right on that beach. And
yeah, I'm more west from there, more towards the Worcester area.
oh yeah,
But yeah, it's a nice area.
You
But
guys
I
are
usually
you guys are
go
talking China to
through
me.
there as I'm
Worcester.
going up to Maine.
You from Worcester, kid?
No.
The neighborhood. I mean, the dialect there. They use kid a lot, and they'll pronounce Worcester as Worcester.
Worcester.
Worcester. Yeah. You from Worcester?
Oh yeah, I give Tim shit all the time. He's
It's
got a crazy accent sometimes. I don't even
remember
think he
earlier
knows
I
what
was
he
saying
does.
how I loved like learning the people's dialects and their accents and the different ways of speaking and their customs around the world. Like even you go to somewhere like Boston, I mean, it's your own country, but man, that's a whole different mentality and a different kind of way of talking up there.
Hey, my New York comes out if I get talking fast.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I moved around so much in my life. I'm just like a mixture of everything.
See, I've moved too, and I'll pick up the dialects in the town that I live in. It's bad.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think
I live in Missouri and I say y'all a lot right now.
Well, when you do things like that, I feel that it's a kindness to the people that you're speaking with. It's an acceptance of their customs and their dialect, and it's like speaking their language with them, and other people look at it like, you're mocking this motherfucker by using his accent when you talk to him and shit. I'm like, I don't even know I'm doing it. I just feel like, okay, this guy is coming at me with a certain cadence to his speech and his accent. And I try to like make myself as understandable and friendly to that person as I can by kind of matching his cadence and accent.
Right.
And, I don't know. I feel like it's a kindness that I'm extending and I'm trying to be inviting and friendly. So don't take it like I'm mocking the person, but it is interesting to see the different viewpoints on that stuff. Anyway, this is a funny podcast. Like the marijuana part, is like falling away, and we're talking fishing and philosophy and travel and people and language.
Do we want to talk about the grow off that we got going?
Intellectual group we have.
Yes, you do.
I got to get off the phone
Rick,
in a minute here.
Your
all right.
plants
Well,
are
hey, man, it was
sticky,
really
Rick.
good to have you here. I appreciate you being there.
I want to just mention something real quick before I get
Please
off.
do.
We just a reminder that we are doing a separate grow off from you guys. We're also growing the Ricky's hash plant and the Bubbles blueberry in our own grow off style event.
Okay.
And we're running it all the way through summer. And we're going to be finishing November 1st is going to be the date that everyone has to finish by.
Okay.
We're allowing both indoor and outdoor people to be a part of this event because we know both indoor and outdoor people can be. And some people can't grow outdoor. So unfortunately, there are limitations.
Knew that November was chosen carefully there.
Yeah, we're doing our own thing because we know you guys have your thing going, and we just finished up our first round, so we're excited. I know Clayton's getting in on it. I know Victoria is graciously giving the last round of growers some Subcool gear to rock with everything.
Terrific.
And that's going to be awesome. So we'll see some Subcool gear with the Ricky's hash plant and the blueberries bubbles. Bubbles blueberry. Wow, right? I said that backwards. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah,
anything we can do to help y'all and promote or contribute, just let us know. Shoot Laura a message and see what you can work on together. She's always helpful to anybody who
Oh, I know Laura's amazing. In Laura, we trust.
Yeah, man, me too. I'll tell you what. This is a woman who is just a terrific gal. It's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. So I'm glad you see and appreciate her too. And So you're going to sign off. I sure could use a drink. I don't know if I would be pardoning myself too early if I take off. But
no, we're gonna do a little commercial here. I think Steve.
Well, I appreciate being here, and I had a great time talking with y'all. Like I say, it really just broke down from talking about pot and growing and stuff to we did enough of it for a certain moment. We got to be friendly with one another and talk about our passions and hobbies and things like that, which made it more special than most podcasts I've ever done. So I appreciate that y'all were there, and I had a great time with you.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate. Yeah,
I'll be back. I'll see you all soon. But I'm gonna go get myself. My mouth is getting dry. You know, when your mouth is getting dry, you plenty high.
Yes, sir.
Take care, y'all.
Thank you, brother.
Bye.
Laura's coming.
I'm just gonna say bye.
Hey.
Hola.
Hey, boo.
Hey, Bo. How was you?
Oh, it was good. It's good.
So tell us more about this Chernobyl coming, Victoria, if you could.
Yeah, we all have questions.
What questions do you have? Sorry. I'm on fish and like all this other stuff. I'm all thrown off now. I'm sorry. All right. What questions do you
okay.
have?
No,
that was a lot.
That was a lot.
Just tell us a little bit more about this Chernobyl that's coming for all of us.
We decided on the episode, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. It's been a long week. She's so good. I love her personally. I mean, I think you guys are going to love her. She's absolutely frosty and gorgeous. Really wasn't prepared to talk about Chernobyl. I'm sorry. You guys threw me off.
Hey,
I didn't mean to catch you off guard either.
I'll tell you this: Chernobyl fed my family for a while.
Really?
I'll just tell you that. She was a beast.
She's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. So I look forward to.
She's gorgeous to grow. I mean, the Slimer.
I personally want to.
The Slimer.
I mean, Laura, what am I supposed to do with these?
Give
this
them away.
Is a collection like
you grow them.
No, these ones you personally get. These are my personal, and I got one from Tim, I believe, too, somewhere. But I can't even open them.
Capsule in the ground.
No, because we're talking about grandkids. This could be like
you put them in a different.
This could be a grandkid's college fund by the time my old ass is gone. I'm just saying.
And then you just add Subcool up into that magic too.
Well, now that you've made that introduction, I mean, we had a couple people on here that were way back in the day, like Rick was talking about in and you guys were on the private per se chats and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't, but he was for sure.
You're on chats now though, so we're golden. I just wanted to say thank you for this. These again, I'll probably say it every time for like the next 10 years, but it's okay. You guys are rad. I know Steve-O's about to do your guys' giveaway because he's got to get rocking. So time to run the giveaway, he says.
Okay.
Good luck, everybody. And Victoria, I definitely still want to pick your brain, like I picked Laura's brain.
All right.
Because
all right.
I learned a lot about you today.
Aw. I hope it was all good stuff.
Yeah, well, we don't have to go anywhere yet. We still got a lot of growers on here that are also here, to hang out and learn stuff about you gals. So, I don't want to take up your whole night. I know most podcasts aren't that long, but
hold on.
Congratulations.
Run rabbit.
Run rabbit.
Run rabbit.
Run rabbit.
I do not know who
I do not know who Run Rabbit is.
But I suppose they're going to message me. or message my gal Nick. She's kind of my Facebook contact now. But we're gonna work on that too.
Damn the haters.
Oh, I see all kinds of night eggs on here. Good Lord. You see these awesome candy ladies I have on here, Donald?
Hammy.
He was the one we were watching out the window for the mailman to get our first pack of seeds from Canada and thought the feds were coming in back then.
Yeah.
Every time that little white truck pulled up in the cul-de-sac, we're like, oh, God, they're coming in with helicopters.
I still get nervous.
They never did. They flew over us even, and I'd be waving. I don't care. If you're good to them, you know, whatever.
So when you coming here, Vic? When you coming in?
When I can get out
Come
of
to
this
Colorado.
freaking farm. I've literally told you that every single time. How many times
I
have you
know.
come here and not come see me?
Not once.
But no, the last time you came, I you know, my little
You had a
grandbaby was
baby.
coming. So
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I didn't have the baby. Fuck that.
Well, I mean,
Don't put that juju on me.
you're good. You're good. You're done.
Yeah. Good. Keep that. I'm good.
You already said it once, should.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I have a horrible memory. I had a brain injury back in the day, so Laura knows. I do my best. She has to remind me like 17 times of the same damn thing. But the stuff you did for Subcool and your husband, that's rad. You know,
Thank
like
you.
behind the scenes. I did a little digging. I got a really smart older kid. Can like he's like this. He sent me so much stuff about you guys, all good stuff that you know had to do with cannabis. He puts in his code words or whatever. You know, it wasn't like I was
Nice,
trying
nice.
to. You know, I wasn't trying to be a weirdo. I just wanted to.
No, no.
You know, because if you just
You're a
Google
pretty open
shit,
book.
yeah, you know, you never know. They can change. You know, I don't believe that. Now that I've met you and Laura was like, oh, hey, wow, I totally got a green thumb that you should talk to. So
Yeah.
Gotta bring in.
Besides tonight,
Appreciate it. I mean, and on the
down the
background,
road.
I love helping people. So, I mean, and I could pretty much teach anybody to grow from my phone. So if you ever need anybody, I mean, all you have to do is send them my way. And I've held many hands from germination to harvest. So I call it being a garden fairy.
She is a fairy.
I am. I have so many people text me all day long, every day, like, yo, what's going on with my plant? And like, I love that. That's like my favorite part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I do too.
And if
I love it.
you don't know,
It drives my
like,
wife
I've got
nuts
a friend.
listening to the phone.
Yeah, we're just a couple garden nomies.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, so
See, I'm a garden fairy.
Facebook took a trip on me for like the last 3 weeks. So my phone, everybody's calling my wife. She's about
at it.
So, that's rad that you're open to the public. I know both of you gals teach a lot of people about cannabis. Well, let me ask you a question, both of you.
Okay.
What is it like to get to work with these crazy ass old school genetics? I'll just say it like that, minus the curse word.
Yeah,
Magical
I mean,
God.
there's really no words, really.
That's the best word you can come up with.
It really
I mean,
is.
it's legacy stuff, man. It's legacy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's just that's the only word I can associate with it is it's magical. Like I'm in another dimension or something.
David alone was a hell of a breeder, and then you add just Rick's knowledge over the top there that's able to continue. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
okay. I'm sitting here like a giddy little schoolgirl, you know, just going, yeah.
I've said that
I
a
mean,
few times,
trying
I'm like,
Yeah,
to
I mean,
stay or
you paved your own ways, and like Rick said, you know, he stopped Brothers Grimm's and then brought it back once they got back to a safe place in Colorado. And I had some of them early beans. That's where I started too. I'm like, hey, here's a pack from a guy, you know, are these fucking real? Let's grow it, you know. And the things that I see coming out now and these other crosses and some of these old school strains, if you really dig into the lineage that's there, you know, there's some skunk ones hidden and stuff. The Cinderella at 99 is just phenomenal. Like you said, there's that pineapple terp in the beginning of its early phases. That was one of my favorites, you know, and I didn't find that here. And I understand why now, because it's from a different, you know, a different set.
That's everybody's favorite. Hold on one second.
Pineapple is my favorite. See, it's just Will and I doing all the Subcool stuff now, so it's kind of crazy. And our whole life is WWSD. What would Sub do? And just trying to preserve everything that he's. I mean, it's already legendary. Like trying to walk in the footsteps of a fucking legendary breeder.
I mean, he's one of the original
fucking
nerds,
crazy. Oh yeah, I mean, he is the original.
He is the original.
Yeah, he's like the original. So like Will has been putting in so many hours on subcool.com, just trying to build this Groverse so that people can have like access to help, knowledge, like pretty much whatever you want. I mean, you just go there, type in, talk to the AI, and the AI has been just trained by Will, and it's gonna be epic, you know. I'm excited. There's some big things coming.
That is cool.
I mean, I can't do it without Brothers Grimm. I mean, they've been the OGs from the beginning. Had my back. When everybody else was like, eh, always. I mean, so I mean,
Laura's
right?
freaking amazing.
I mean, Laura and I clicked.
And like, dude, she's so rad.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, we clicked almost instantly. I think the first time you called me, I was like, hey. You were like, hey. I was like, ooh, I like you. All right.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on her to drop her first bass single.
I'm glad.
I know. I already told her I was going to be
music coming.
I'm going to be one of her groupies. I already told her.
You're going to be in the groupie.
Oh, yeah. I already am one of her groupies. What are you talking about?
I'm going to be up backstage. Like,
add me to all the plant groupies. I'm there. I'm ready to grow me with my nomies, man.
Yeah. So I'm ready.
I sing in the shower. That's about it. I couldn't play a tune, or I played the keyboard back in you know, when I was at the monastery as a young kid.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm ready to go to the
They kind of froze for
she went.
Gotta go, bro. Go spend like a year with the monks and get some rainbow light.
Right.
Yay. You know what? Somebody said to me the other day, and you girls fit in this, and I'm not trying to put you in a box, so we're going to go in a circle like a root ball.
Okay. What about Star?
Just what you said about you just, you know, I mean, you know, we have a couple handfuls of people watching right now, but by the end of the week, it's pretty crazy. So you just saying, and Laura always says it, I'm right here if you need help. I'm one of those people. And somebody said to me the other day, do you know how many people, because I was getting down on myself, getting booted off of certain things and whatnot. And a person said, actually, my mailman said, you know how many people you help feel better and get through every day just by something you've said, whether it be on a podcast, at a booth, at a medical, you know, setup. You know, just what you guys do, you know, that's kind of what keeps me going a lot. It's not fun because it's work, but I just want to say that don't ever forget, you know, how many patients you guys help. You know, there's a lot of recreational, of course, and I come from underground. I had forestry and I had indoor craziness back in the day.
Yep.
So,
I know that feeling.
the helping of the medically. If you guys think about it, I've been helping patients for like 20 years, kind of like specifically, obviously other growers too. But to waste 3 months of somebody's life who's fighting cancer, right? They'll go and get their lights, their tent. They want to try things. You know, don't waste it on bad genetics. Is what I'm getting at.
Know your breeder.
You gotta
know what you grow.
know your breeder, and being that
That's what I
one, like you guys
everybody
are
from the beginning. If you don't know the source, you don't know the breeder, don't buy that shit. Don't grow that shit. It's not worth your time.
It's not.
And there's so many chopped up genetics nowadays, like it's unreal. No, you know, the unknown hermaphrodites that I find in some people's beans that they hand me. Oh man, I've been working on. It's like, dude, this was bastardized to begin with, had ruderalis and this and that, and you could just see everything, you know. And if you really put the
life
work in,
is
you understand plants. Like we messed with a lot of plants, so you know, we're not the average individual.
life's too short.
Oh, what is this retard in my garden? You know.
Life's too short. But we did
To grow shitty seeds.
Or
Right.
shitty weeds.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I used to
Shitty
grow
weeds.
bad seeds back in the day out in the middle of cornfields, so I can't say much.
I still
but I
do.
learned and I
I
grew, and,
sprinkle
you
them.
know. Yeah. I'm like
I
Johnny Five
sprinkle
Feet
them.
out here. I don't care. I just throw it wherever. Let
I'm
it
just
grow.
like, here you go. Here you go. Next wildfire up in this bitch. The whole fire department's getting high.
I'm telling you.
I'd show you the wall behind you gals right now on the laptop, but I can't show everybody on here. But you gals would be proud.
Picture
You're
later
like,
and send it in.
Mm-hmm.
I became a foster parent. We had a TO family green thumb that had to reduce his grow rooms because family moved in. You know,
Mm-hmm.
kids take the grow rooms back sometimes. And
They do.
oh, that's funny. That's
Yep.
funny. Daughter from Chicago. Somebody said they were from Chicago, New York. Never mind, New York.
I'm from New York.
I got to go to the. You are from New York,
So-
yes. I got to go to the Woodstock family farm, and on a trip right as COVID broke out. We landed in. That's not O'Hara. Was that O'Hara? That's not O'Hara. Is that O'Hara?
No, that's
New York?
Chicago.
That's Chicago.
No, Chicago. JFK.
What was in New York?
If you
JFK.
if
Okay.
you
No, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's New York City, JFK. I'm not from the city. I'm from the Finger Lakes area.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
from
we
smack
headed.
dab in the middle of New York.
I still don't know exactly where we're at because I ride passenger most time, and I'm rolling joints and looking at cool shit out the window. I'm a people watcher and backyards. I love looking at backyards when you're not driving because you can see a greenhouse that like one of us probably set up. You know, and you're like, oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, we spot the grows whenever we're driving.
Yeah.
It's our pastime.
Well, yeah. Well, you guys got a lot more over there than we do here. People are still counties over here, even though, I mean,
We lost
I
a
can
lot.
flower
Though.
24 plants at once.
They shut down a lot of grows out here.
They have. They have. Well, you know, I mean,
We're opening up a lot out here.
it was kind of a.
A free for all.
Understand what you say? Yeah, I was gonna say Lone Ranger, kind of. Yeah. It was kind of crazy for a minute.
It was. Everybody got their license there for a minute at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma?
Cool party.
Oh yeah. Everybody.
Like freaking $2,500 a license, and everybody had one.
Yeah. I mean, and if they
Everyone
didn't,
had
they would pick. Everyone had one, and then they passed all those regulations where you had to use it or lose it, and then
metric, and
if you didn't use it,
yeah,
and they added all the alphabet boys.
Yeah,
you got every alphabet fucking.
Metric sucks, but back in Washington when we were going from medical to rec for the first like 5 or 6, 7 years, you guys, they made it change different programs like once a year. It was retarded.
Arizona did the same thing.
Did they? Yeah. That sucked. But metric, you know, none of it's going to be cool because we're not riding it as much as they have somebody standing here on their podium that kind of looks like us. That's not who's riding that shit. You guys know.
Yeah, no.
So what's happening with Subcool and Grimm Seeds? You guys have been doing something. Can you talk about that? Okay.
Which part of it?
I mean, which part of it? She's like, what are you talking about? What kind of digging? No.
I mean, we always
they're always up to something.
Plans.
we are. We really are always up to something. So
They're
like, what
always
do you-
up to something,
I mean,
bro.
We really are. I mean,
No.
we get on the phone and we just
Yeah.
rattle off 15 different ideas, and then
No, dude. Epiphanies after epiphany.
yeah, I know she'll call me and be like, "Oh my god," and then I'll call her and be like, "Oh my god." I mean,
Yeah.
just building back and like taking over and getting into as many people's minds as possible. That's the goal, right?
Hey, knowledge is power and growing is learning. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we grow our roots more than just in dirt, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's really the goal,
You know it.
right?
It's
Right.
All right.
yeah. In the
You got to share knowledge to
for
learn.
some of us it is the goal. You know,
Mhm.
I like to say I helped more people than
I'll try to help.
See, helping people
I
is
don't-
really what I'm here for. I mean, that's where I get my joy from.
That is the
It's
joy.
one plant, one
That's
love.
all
The
the
more
joy,
plants I
I
see
mean.
growing in the world, the happier I am.
And the amount of
It
people
is,
that I talk to, they're like, "Oh my god, just having somebody to talk plants with like makes
know.
my whole day." So I'm
I
like,
hear
"All
that
right,
all day
all
long.
right,
about-
Sam,
they're like,
like
you
let's
actually
talk."
answered the phone.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's what makes us rare is like you talk to us. You don't talk to some intern or some chat feature or I mean,
some
you
chat
call us
bot
up,
or
you call up
yeah.
Brothers Grimm, you call up Soul or Subcool, you're gonna get us. Yeah. I mean, we might tell you we're a little busy right at the second, but you know, you'll get us. You'll get us every time.
That's cool. That's
So
that means a lot to growers out there. Trust me, it does.
I mean, it takes Clay a bit to answer the phone.
I squirrel sometimes, and well, yeah, Lord knows that
same.
too. Yeah, you know, it's not on purpose, but I do. But then I'll get back to a conversation 2 days later, and she knows I'll send 25 messages like I had a conversation with them, with her, but she wasn't even there. I do it to him too. He hadn't heard from me in 2 or 3 days, and all of a sudden it's like,
It's like a message slinger.
well,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean,
He just
sometimes
found
I
his
do that.
nuts,
It really
that was all.
depends.
Ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh, it's Clayton.
Yeah.
It's Clayton.
Porn.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, there's more people out there like that than you know. So
All right. Good. That's yeah.
It's the ADHD and the autism. It's got to be.
for
Yeah.
What?
And my parents were having fun in the early 70s. You know, you never know. I could have been swimming sideways. Knowing my dad. Sorry, ladies. Knowing my dad. Well, you met my dad, so
Yeah.
I love you, pops. I'm just kidding if you're still on here.
Well, I love you guys. You guys
Yeah,
are
well-
awesome. I am gonna have to
Yes.
jump off here because I
yes,
gotta go put this little child to bed.
Thank-
I know.
Yeah,
I gotta feed my
thank
baby.
you. You guys just gave us like 2 hours.
Aw.
Like I said to you, Laura, we are building a new podcast place at Slappy's new, and so we're gonna do Thursdays there and maybe Tuesdays
Or maybe Mondays and Wednesdays. I mean, who knows?
or Monday, Wednesdays. Definitely, Victoria. If we could have you back at some point, we got other people that
Anytime.
had questions for you, and I just get so
course.
stretched.
Love you.
Thank
Shoot me a message.
for
Love y'all.
thank you for
Yeah, just shoot me a
blessing us.
message.
Good night, Miss Laura.
Good night.
Good
And
night. You guys can stay on, but I'm out.
thank you, Rick.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, no, message me
No,
anytime. Feel
you're-
free. Feel free to
you're
reach
good.
out. You know how to reach me. And
Yep,
if you send
I do.
me, shoot me a message and I'll send you my number. That way, you know, it's easier. than just trying to
Awesome.
reach me through email.
Yes.
So I'm here.
I will do that. Awesome.
Well, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on and especially sharing the Subcool gear. I mean, that's just
understand how much that means to people. Okay, so just understand what you're doing.
I mean, he was a legend.
I got a hold of a couple old school friends, you know, back home, and they're like, "Really? I've never even typed him into a computer." And I went, "Oh yeah."
I mean,
do you want to know what his number?
Lost after the fire, dude.
No, I mean when we came around like right before the fire, and then the fire happened. He moved to AZ with us, and I mean he was like my brother from the minute that we met. So, and my kid's uncle.
That's rad.
So, and his number one fear was being forgotten. I'm like, I looked at him when he said that to me, and I'm like, dude, who the fuck would forget you? I mean, come on.
Right.
So like he made us make
that's
a promise.
One of the influences.
Yeah.
That drove me to cannabis early. I mean.
And that's what I told him. I'm like, dude, do you know how many people you help a day? Like, come on. Like, forget about it. So
his genetics fed my family for quite a few years.
Yeah.
And you know, those are the stories he loved hearing about the most. I mean, and same, like I love reading about him. Like people will tell me all this stuff. Like they'll be like, "Oh, sorry to bother." No, please bother me. I love hearing it. I share it with his brother. I share it with Will. I mean, Will's not really in front of the camera. I mean, I'm not either. I mean, we never really were. We were always behind the scenes, or I was doing like the shows or stuff like that. I mean, I'm trying to get his brother to come on and help with a little bit of stuff. We're trying to bring the weed nerd back. We're trying, but the genetics were first and foremost, you know? And like, it was weird figuring out like where to put our footing. And like, we just lost our best friend and it was during COVID. And like when a death happens, like everything goes into probate for a while. And I mean, we didn't really know what was going to happen. So like, we just kind of sat there like, okay, I mean, we hope that they come to us because like, it was always the plan that we kept it going for generations, my kids, my grandkid, like just because Sub's family really, his son really wasn't into it like that. So yeah. Can you still hear me?
I got the next gen grower myself. I got two of four out of, you know, for sure interested, and the littles are still figuring it out. You know, what's that smell?
Oh yeah. I'm dealing with the consequences of Subcool being my children's uncle. So I mean, yeah, it's fun.
But
I guess I would rather them
out
get
of the
caught
woods.
smoking.
Yeah. I would definitely teach them the plant before anything else.
Oh, they've known the plant since we've been in hydro. I mean, every part of the industry Will and I have been in. So, I mean, hydro stores, compassion clubs, delivery services, dispensaries, grows, processing. I mean, the list goes on and on. So, and they've been along for the ride the whole time. So we call it cactuses and palm trees.
My kids are very well versed.
It just goes to show you, though, it's a way of life. It's not just something. It's a way of life. It's a culture, all of it.
It's our whole life. Like we can't even hide who we are. I mean, that's really why we bounce around because, like, we have to stay where it's legal, where we won't get in, because we literally smell like it just everywhere we go.
That's all it is. Here, I'm gonna prove her point. I'm gonna prove her point, you guys. I'm gonna say one word. Actually, it's two words. I'm gonna say two words, growing words, to Victoria, and watch her face, and she'll explain exactly what you were just saying. It's everything. Behind you on my laptop, there's 100. Oh, I can only say one word, huh? Okay. Solo cups.
Holy shit. How big? How big?
Somebody would, only people that live the life understand.
Oh yeah.
You know,
solo cups are my best friend. Wait, did you see the trick yet where you can use the vegetable peeler to put the little holes at the bottom. Game changer. Just saying. No more cutting it. You use the vegetable peeler and it will and you could do a whole stack of them in 2 seconds. I'm not shitting you. I'll find the video. I'll send it to you.
Take all the
Game
corners,
changer.
your 3 notches
Take
or
the drainage hole. You just take the stack, put it
Yeah.
upside down, take the vegetable peeler, and just
Yeah.
and no more cutting it with the scissors. I'm telling you.
Oh, that is some bullshit. No holding an open razor.
Nope. Use the vegetable peeler.
Hot iron and torch.
It'll change the game.
That's got to be so much.
I've used
faster
everything. Like I've stabbed
everywhere.
things.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's so much faster. So much faster just to run it
Nip
across.
them corners.
Mhm.
I used to
With
take so
the-
much
like the
time into a
potato
solder
peeler.
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. I understand. I totally
Yeah.
understand.
Damn, why wasn't I thinking of that?
When we're off here, dude, we're grabbing solo cups in the fucking kitchen
Yep.
that way. We're doing it. We're gonna try
Just
it.
change the
That's it.
game for you.
See?
See?
And just talking brings out shit that people can
Oh,
learn
yeah.
and learn from.
This is our whole life.
Mhm.
Like this is from the
It
moment we wake
is.
up to the moment we go to sleep. It's all day, every day weed. All day, every day subcool. I mean, I got him on my chain here. So
That's rad.
I don't know, for the past month or so, it's been nothing but Brothers Grimm. I'm glad I chopped them bastards. You know, it's ready to harvest them fruits.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun little grow up. You know, Clayton had a nice little bout run here. You know, mine looks about like
Love
his.
that.
Yeah, everybody else
I
we've
take
seen on the
professors too.
pictures is. Yeah, we've been following along pretty close on the grow up. I mean, some people got some bigger stuff, but we're all different. We're all growing under different lights. You know, humidity's tense.
Mhm.
Some are in open rooms. You know, some are
Yeah.
using $1,000. Some are using $100 light bulbs. You know, some are using shop
Exactly.
lights they found.
It's pretty cool.
But it's all for the same goal, right?
It is.
Hundreds of
Flower.
different ways
That's
to do
right.
it, and it's all for the same common goal. So that's why I love the plant so much.
It's a rad plant. I mean,
It really-
regardless, even if like tomorrow the doctor said you can't smoke that ever again for whatever stupid reason, I still love the plant.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can still smell the plant. I could eat the plant. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm actually allergic to the plant. I'm just saying, I'm allergic. I mean, I could smoke it all day long, like trust and believe I got a tolerance like a bull. I could take dabs of it. But like the pollen, I gotta be all masked up because my eyes will water, my nose, like it will like make my whole face swell up. When I'm trimming, I gotta have gloves on, long sleeves, or else like I break out. Like, yeah,
And get the itch.
Yep, but I love the plant so fucking much that here I am just suffering through it. I'm like, you asshole. Yep, I know when the pollen's starting to drop, my eyes will start like watering when I go in the grow room. I'm like, the pollen's almost ready.
Tweezer tech and a face mask. Yep, yes, ma'am.
So fun times.
That's rad. You are like right across the door. We got a lot of cool things that we do over in Oklahoma too. I'm definitely gonna get a hold of you guys.
You'll have to let me know.
Yeah.
You'll have to let me know. I don't get out much.
I
I
got
mean, we're
some-
kind of down south, so like we don't get really. Every time Laura goes to Tulsa, I'm like, you're like 5 hours from me, girl. But I was afraid of tornadoes, so I went to where there's little bubbles, and I don't have to really. I mean, I guess I still have to worry about them, but I don't have to worry about them as much.
You.
And I got a basement, so I mean, I'm a
spots.
rare one from what I find or what I hear. Not many people.
Yeah,
have
there's
basements.
a lot of basement.
Yeah, we got a house. I got a basement. I was like, yes, please, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no basement here. I got like a 1.5 foot crawl space. That's it. They don't give a shit anymore, which is weird because I'm from Washington. And we all had basements. I mean, every house had a basement. It's weird, but I guess it's different. I guess flooding, probably water and flooding. Yeah, I guess. I can kind
Look around here too. We still got basements. They all leak.
No leak.
Yeah, no.
Right
we've
on.
been
Well, I
dealing
don't
with
want to
that for,
keep
like,
you
the last
on
week.
anymore.
Yes.
Thank
It was
you.
great meeting you guys, and please stay in
Right.
touch. Call me. Like, have me back anytime.
I will.
I love talking cannabis.
If you're cool with it, I have like so Grimm, Subcool. There's a Knowles family farm. I've known them since California. I only represent a handful of anybody with seeds, and on my websites, I'll put your information up there
Okay.
because
Okay. Sweet. And let me know if you need
you know
anything.
any little bit will help. You
We
know,
appreciate it. I mean, get the word back out there. A lot of people don't know that he's still like that, but we move in silence kind of thing. So we'd make the moves and then we're like, okay, guys, here you go.
Still hearing it
So
going forward. That's
I know.
amazing. You know, the legacy continues, and we get to be a
it
part of it
does.
still. And I'm just,
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys on the interweb that puts up something for him every year. Actually,
Oh,
probably
okay.
multiple times a year. So that I'm just saying, like, you know,
See, I told
that
you.
is something
I
that-
told him he was crazy that people were gonna forget about him. I'm like, there's no effing
And
way.
but
I
No
was like,
effing
I
way.
grew up like within an hour of the Canadian border, like in the middle of
Yeah.
fucking nowhere woods,
Mm-hmm.
and he still had to reach out there, like.
Mm-hmm.
So we had maybe some federal
Why? That's
land,
what I
you
told
know,
him. I'm like, dude, people know you everywhere. Everywhere.
and
Like,
the first round of the blueberry beans that we got, obviously were not feminized. I don't know where they came from. Well, I was told that's where they came from. Um, and then you take the investors out for that hike at the middle of October and let them kind of touch everything that's done and decide, you know, what kind of lollipops they wanted and didn't want. And boy, they'd hit that DJ Short, and they're like,
blueberry is one of my favorite strains. Like, the hands
Oh.
down, one of my favorite. The terps, you can't get enough of it.
No,
That's
you
why I'm
can't.
excited.
It's
if you can make that blueberry short with Jesus OG, that'd be phenomenal.
I mean, maybe. You don't know. You never know. Maybe.
only one way to find
we got some
out.
new stuff. I know. That's what I'm saying. There's only one way to find out. I mean, Sub did a few crosses to blueberry back in the day. I don't think I ever grew them out personally. I don't think I get to try them. I mean, so I mean, who knows? I like blueberries, so you never know. And Will likes all the different flavors and all the different terps and like really just honing in on because that's how they sell in the dispos. I mean, to be honest.
Right.
The flavors. I mean,
Like,
people go in and they're like, oh, I want cherry. I want this. I want gas. I want cheese. I want. So if we can just kind of hit all of those. See, Will likes the
70-year-old briefcase. Yeah, like you said, the funky stuff. The 70-year-old briefcase. Oof.
That's
okay.
Will.
I got to
Will
smoke
likes
that
the
out that I
skunks,
smelled it.
the gases, the funky, the
That
nastier
dirty
it
gym
smells.
bag, man.
Dude, there's a baby poo pheno in our Slimer BX. Oh my god. You like that baby poo smell, like the one where you like
Oh yeah.
you kind of feel bad enjoying it a little bit. Like you're just be like, okay, let me go back in for one more. It's got that. So we call the Slimer BX the dirty Slimer. So yeah, I mean, just a little sneak peek there. If you want a dirty, the Slimer BX, she's got a nasty pheno in her.
We'll talk after this because I have.
Let's talk.
I'm a provider, so I have some numbers. We're gonna talk regardless, but I'm definitely gonna make sure I get some of you guys' genetics going in my rooms. My wife is actually, so I actually met her. I do consults. Sometimes I do consults, and literally, I traveled this whole state for. Gave them a one-on-one when I first moved out here. Only because gas. and probably where I was staying that night. But that's still pretty
Mm-hmm.
good, for I went to consult her. Her 2 rooms were amazing. Girls can grow better. And I learned this back running the big grows in Washington. You girls grow better than we do. I don't care.
We've
I'm
got that
just saying.
nurturing,
It's odd.
motherly.
No, it's
Yeah,
odd.
no,
That's all I'm
I
saying. I'm
I mean,
just
I
saying
kind
because
of
we
ran
don't
with
have
the
that.
guys my whole career in cannabis, so I mean, I've kind of had to just sit back and be like, guys, girls grow a little better, but I mean, I can't say that to
Yeah.
Subcool or Kyle Cushman, or I mean, I can't say
His
that to my
wife could outgrow him
friends,
any day.
huh?
His wife
See,
could
that's what
outgrow him any day.
hmm
And
I
and
know.
then
Women have
I
that.
want to get. I want to. Do you guys do some soil?
The Subcool
You
super
guys
soil,
do
yeah.
soil,
Well, we do
or
charge
or you
packs.
hydroponic,
We're
or
we do soil. We do Subcool super soil.
okay. If I sent you something organic that I've been making for about 15 years, would you try it? It's an
Yes,
addition. I
I
make a
never say
living
no.
biochar.
Okay.
I make a living biochar, and I have
We need
worked
a
on it for a very
biochar,
long
I
time.
think. I'll have to definitely put you in touch with Will because I'm pretty sure he's looking for a good source for biochar. I mean, we had a wildfire a couple months back. We almost went to over there a little ways to go collect some, but the green grew back so quickly. I was like, so yeah, I'll get
Yeah,
Will. We'll have to
That's
get
the
you in
thing. It
contact with
don't take
Will.
long.
I
hmm
don't even
It grew back
know.
like you wouldn't even know that it all caught on fire just a
I
few weeks ago.
really don't. Right up there on your right, there'll be biochar.
But
Carbon,
yeah, we do
positive
super
carbon,
soil.
amazing for growing. Yeah, I
hmm
subcool super soil. It should be like I water with fish shit. They're one of my
Yep.
sponsors. These guys have actually sponsored me since I actually came onto the scene a couple of
We
years
like fish
ago.
shit.
Uh, they've been amazing to me. Dude, they give me like I can't even say it on the live how much dollar amount they give me to give away of
Oh,
fish shit.
I
Like,
I worked in hydro stores. I can probably imagine. Okay. All right.
so this is my
Yeah.
biochar. It comes with microbes, worm castings, like 10 dry nutrients. It's something
I
I
breed
just
my own
because
worms. See? Mm-hmm. Yes, I want some because I
we will
like
chit chat
biochar.
so I want to get you a case out. So I even made teas with all
Ooh,
the
okay.
people were taking a couple scoops out of their bag and putting a 5-gallon bucket and brewing it and just water
Mm-hmm.
it that way. And I'm like, well, shit, I should make a little tea bag, right? And then that's what I
Yeah.
did. So I got a veg and which you really don't need the teas when you're running a super soil, but it doesn't hurt. This is all organic.
Doesn't hurt.
Not gonna
Yeah. No, we
really
add teas
hurt
to ours.
adding some goodness.
Yeah,
Uh,
we add teas to ours throughout.
I was watching a couple videos of you and stuff and whatnot and learning you a little bit more. And I did hear you talk about the super soil, but for some reason I kept it in the back of my head. I thought you were growing hydro, that you guys grew hydro.
I mean, we've grown every way imaginable. I mean, we've grown
Okay,
hydro,
maybe that's what it
like
was.
we've done it all. I mean, if there's a way to grow something, we've probably tried it. Just
Right
because,
on.
I mean, we just like growing. I mean, anything,
Yeah.
fruits, vegetables, potatoes, like you name it, we grow it.
That's
Those burners we were talking about today.
my
We
garage is
compost.
giant
I mean,
bins.
I breed my
Yeah.
own worms.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
oh, my other
Hmm.
product. It's a 3-in-1 beneficial bugs for your soil and your compost pile. And I call it Bugnetic.
Ooh.
So I blow glass, for fun. And I do like,
Okay.
well, I blow memorial pendants and stuff, with ashes inside, loose,
Mm-hmm.
so you can, that kind of
Ooh,
stuff.
I'll have to get
I
a
do
hold of
the
you. I
other
got some
cool.
ashes. I'll get a hold of you. I got some ashes.
I even make with ashes, I make a pipe. So my best friend Bert, he's not here no more.
Ooh.
He's in a pipe
What?
that's on my neck. So I only pull it out once in a great blue moon in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
That's I'm like, oh wow, everybody's here, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
believe the last time I seen your buddy Kyle and Patrick
Mm-hmm.
and Swami, I can't remember if Swami was here or not, but I pulled out him. So, anyways, I do a pipe too. Where was I going with the pipes? Oh, the gal, the bug gal. This gal comes in. She was a professor at UCLA, her and her husband, for like 40
Mm-hmm.
years, growing all these bugs to fight bad bugs all over the world. That's like what she did. And now she retired and bought like this 250-acre cattle farm out here in Missouri. He
Oh
passed away,
wow.
and that's what they wanted to do. So she did it all by herself.
Hey,
Anyways,
go her.
she was doing these little globes of glass with the little top on them. She
Mm-hmm.
usually orders them from like China or something, but there was something going on and she couldn't get them. Or so she came in and I was blowing glass that happened to be helping a buddy open his shop. Oh, nasty glass,
Mm-hmm.
slap nasty. And I get talking with her and she starts talking to me all about biochar. Well, I'm just a long haired sitting there blowing glass in a glass shop, you know. They had some gross stuff and whatnot. They had my biochar on the wall, but she hadn't seen it or nothing. And I let her talk all about biochar and I was like, oh, this is so weird. And I shut the torch down. I'm like, hey, and I walk over and I grab her one of these bags and I go, here, I've been working on this. So anyway, we've been friends forever. We worked a year and a half on breeding a springtail hybrid that has like
Okay.
uh, some predatory tendencies where it'll feed on the larvae, the flyers, and all that shit that's down here. There's all kinds of
Okay.
bugs in the soils down here.
We
And
have so many
we
bugs
put
out here.
predatory nematodes and microbes, so it's 3-in-1.
Okay.
A little package.
Yeah.
So I will send that in the pack too.
That'd be
That's so glad.
Thank
I'm
you.
so glad.
Thank you. Thank you. Will's going to be so excited because he's looking for a good source of a couple of different things. So and I'm pretty sure
So with this,
biochar was one of them.
that would be. You don't have to use a lot. You know,
No.
mine has a punch to it. You know, I'm not saying that. Mine has a punch to it. There's people that just pretty damn near water all the way through. But the subcool soil, I promoted that clear back in the day. Because you could, and there
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of bullshit going on back in the day. Like even not in there, I'm talking about like outgrowing. You know, the new people were coming in and trying to make soils, but subcools was always brought up in a good thing. So that's I'm glad somebody's. You know, my batch of soil I make for about 10 patient providers and growers right now that I do a little
Mm-hmm.
mixing next to my biochar. It's a super soil, except I do got
Yeah,
biochar.
it's the easiest,
It
in my
is. I water.
opinion. I mean, mm-hmm.
You know what I started to do about the last year now, even in our pots inside. You know, I did the lasagna
Hmm.
layer too a little bit with the biochar, but I do a little bit in the solar cup and then my soil, and so you get this little sponge of biochar all the way to the final pot. But what I did
Ooh,
this
okay.
last year, and my wife, she's smart. She's probably like you. She's a better grower than me, even though I've been growing a lot longer than
Mm-hmm.
her. She's on it. Uh,
Yeah.
we changed
It's all about reading the plant.
the only thing we changed was we did plant spikes in the pots, right? I watered in a little bit, let it soak
Mm-hmm.
in, and then we took a pencil and made 6 holes around it, kind of like I do out in landscaping with the biochar, but I thought about doing it in here. We do it to apple trees or grapes and I'll tell you, this run here,
I got
I mean,
pecan trees. Will it work with pecan trees?
any tree. So if you think about
Okay.
it, the layers are cool, but some of those feet of roots don't ever get down to the layers of biochar that may put in the bottom. So
Mm-hmm.
if you put the spikes in a foot or two out from the stump or the root ball a couple feet out from there, you've seen the roots of a cannabis plant. They're all, there's a big
Yep.
ball of them right here. If they can reach right out into that, I fill that hole with our biochar with all the goodies in it. And I'll tell you,
Mm-hmm.
these plants, I had to do an ice flush on that run to get them to fade out. Oh, you've got a family too, and so do I. I keep getting hey, it's dinner time, your dinner time, it's gonna get cold. I could
It's
sit here
okay.
and all over. Maybe we could
I'm the
schedule
same
a
way.
show.
Okay, yeah,
I know
let's
there's a
schedule
lot of
another one.
people. I'm getting a lot of cool messages. So I definitely would love to have you back on. I don't want to keep you all night.
Yeah.
Maybe tell your husband thank you guys, for what you guys are doing, and I will definitely help spread the word. I know a
I
few people
appreciate it. Thank you.
around, so I will
Thank you.
definitely
Thank you. If you
thank
just
you for
send them to
coming on.
subcool.com and have them sign up for the wait list, I mean, that's the best way to stay in touch with me. I mean, we're on Twitter and all that, or
Cool.
X. It's not Twitter anymore. It's X. I mean, I don't play with Facebook and Instagram much just because I've lost so many accounts. It's so annoying.
It was horrible. There was like 10 years on the last one. I was kind of upset about it. There was even
Yep.
pictures of
Same
my
with mine.
kids, and I don't have that phone anymore, and we didn't have Google Cloud. Blah, 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 I'm like, you're kidding me.
See? That's why I don't
That's
really talk on my Facebook much because I'm like, dude, this is my Facebook. I don't have some of these pictures and like, I don't want to lose it. So just reach out to me on subcool.com. You got my number. I mean, and I usually just give out my number to anybody. I don't care. I mean, besides weirdos.
yeah,
Obviously.
right. Yeah.
Don't need weirdos.
Being a teacher of roots, you'll find that occasionally. You will
Oh
find
yeah, I do. I come across
the
some
grower
weird ones,
that'll
but that's for another show.
text message you. Yeah, they'll text message you at 3 a.m. What the? No,
All
I'm
the
sleeping right
time. And I'm
now.
like, dude. And they're like full out conversation. I'm like, come on. Like, you couldn't have messaged me this in like 4 hours. Oh, no, I get it. I'm telling you, I can tell you some
I've been
stories.
sleeping. That's so rad. I could tell you do the same thing I do, and it is a way of life. And I don't know if it's cool as far as my art's concerned. It's not for everybody.
Not for everybody.
Sure,
Yeah.
you gotta enjoy that good weed and eat that salt sometimes. Yes, I know I'm coming. Right on.
All right.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Until next time,
And we
we'll be in
will chit
touch.
chat until next time.
Yes. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Bye. Have a good one.
Thank you. That was rad, dude. Rad. I have to. We have something here we're supposed to play. I have to figure it out. Thanks everybody for sticking around. Where did it go? Not gonna be that. Nope. It's somewhere here. Those are all the amazing pictures. Can you guys see that? You guys can't see that. Steve-O's got some rad pics there. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it was an amazing grow. Well, I was trying to find out where this is. There's a commercial thing. That's so funny. He's still. There's that questionnaire. Hi, little one. You can't right. That's for high stress. Brothers Grimm. I can't find it. Well, guess you guys are going to see that cool thing later. Because I don't know how to play that. Oh, maybe this is how I do it. Right. Going to be down in Grandview on Thursdays. Yes, they have to come out and check out Slappy's new place. Play outro. That's what it is. All right, you guys have a good evening. Thanks for the winner. Reach out, Ross Rhino, Ray. I'm gonna get better at that. I can't see. That's part of my problem. I really got to focus, and then I'm not paying attention to the guests. So we're gonna get it up here, and we're actually gonna be doing a cool podcast with adding Slappy in and Danny and some amazing people. I miss Catty Kitty. I miss Catty Kitty. Miss Catty, let me say hi. How are you? Oh, you're the same one, huh? Hi, pretty girl. Hi, pretty girl. Yes, you are. Really? It's okay. Yeah. Hi, Miss Kelly. Oh, yeah, we're still on. Right on, you guys. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit that. It's all weird to say. I sound like my kid's phone. You got to hit that share and that follow. Wait, it's not called follow on here. It is a subscribe button. Please do that. We're working behind the scenes with all of my our amazing sponsors. We better get rid of that. How do I turn that one off? Hold on. Oh well, you can see fish shit. There it is. And when you subscribe to YouTube, I think it's gonna cost you like 97 cents a month, but you're gonna get this cool box. So if you're into cool boxes, ain't be nothing to do with me packing everything. I know I still got 3 bags of shit over here to send out, and I don't mean to be late. Life is busy. I still have kids under the roof. I still load the biochar 1 bag at a time. So the USPS sucks though. There's a couple cool people. One was on here earlier, Ryan and stuff. I'm gonna have to drive out and see him personally because, anyways, I want to say that they'll really fuck my shit up. There's Miss Cannon White. You are very welcome. Thanks for the hanging out, Miss Shirley. Love you, Cannon White.